As there, everyone has been waiting, but we weren't actually live. So as of 5 seconds ago, we are live.
Now we're live.
So
redo.
Everyone, this is Jeffrey. We're going to actually have him back in 5 minutes and do a quick restart, just maybe 2 minutes. Sorry about that.
No problem.
All right.
Technology, Jeff.
All right. Anyway, let's restart that. Everybody, we are live. It is 4:20 almost p.m. in Canoga Park, California. We got some great guests on here for a great cause. What's happening, boys?
We're live?
We are live now.
Well, what happened? We just had 10 minutes of discussion.
Well, we're going to have to repeat
Let's
it, you know. So what's happening?
Hey, we have a great drop of these new T-shirts that just came out today, hot off the press. We've got the black, we've got the green, forest green, actually, Highwayman shirt.
See the cycles on the back?
We'll be telling you a little bit about what's going to happen with these shirts as well in a few minutes as we get into our guests. But hey, yesterday's drop, what an amazing drop.
North rim of the Grand Canyon through Jacob Lake. A lot of people have never been that way because it's a different way into the Grand Canyon. It's a little bit harder to get into it, but when you get there, there's like these 3 fingers, no people, amazing pine trees, meadows. There's even bison.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite rides this year, and we've had so many great ones. I'm going to go back Thanksgiving and take the grandkids, but
yeah, well, it's a little bit longer drop, but you got to stay in it because part of this is we also interviewed Melinda and her family. 5 generations have been at this inn, and it's almost 100 years old. So a lot of history there. Not the biggest lake in the world.
No lake
but the
maybe
inn is
at all.
Cool, right?
In fact, he looks like the pictures of Jacob.
He kind of
from
does.
back in the day.
Yeah.
Check that
out. So why don't we jump Jeff in and let's try and get started again.
All right. Now we are back and we are live with Jeff. How are you again?
Jeff, how are you?
Good to be with you guys. I'm so excited to hear this story. And Brent, you are exciting, man. I've followed you all over the map because we've got a chart with this map of his travel. And this is the first time I've been able to even see you and then share with you. So you guys have really opened up a great gateway. Thank you.
Well, we want to thank you because this was kind of last minute. This guy wanted to get his hair cut. We were able to arrange this day in studio with us. We reached out to your team, and I got to tell you, Jeannie and all the folks there have been great help today. And we know that you're a busy guy, but we know how near and dear this foundation is to you. And you're the guy, and is it your wife as well, Zena?
Yes, yes.
So you and your wife started this over 40 years ago. You just announced your 40th anniversary.
Wow, very awesome.
So tell us a little bit about Wigs for Kids.
Well, it started out, I was really a hairdresser for celebrities. I did from the President of the United States to runway models all over the world. And I was at the top of the world. I didn't have a motorcycle back then. I had a Corvette, but I was living the high life. And Denise came running into my salon, 6,000 square feet spa, and said, Uncle Jeff, these were the words that changed my life and changed everything from that point forward. Uncle Jeff, don't let me go without hair. And I didn't know what she was talking about. I'm Italian. I thought somebody was making fun of her, so I was going to call the mafia or somebody to get taken care of. But in turn, she then looked up at her dad, and her dad said she had leukemia. But there was a new wonder drug that just came out just then, which was called chemotherapy. But it's left her with hair loss. And she looked at me with tears, and she said, Uncle Jeff, promise me, I'm going to be in a gymnastic competition, and I need to have hair. Don't let me go without hair. And I said to her, I will be sure you have hair. Well, you know, when you promise a kid, you keep a promise because it's absolutely the most important thing that I can think of doing. But we didn't realize how complicated that was, guys, because it would be like trying to build the first motorcycle. And I don't know what it looked like, but that was pretty tough. But it wasn't just a wig for a child. It was the ability to stay on through the whole gymnastic competition. So I built the wig and got everything together with some great people. And we were at the gymnastic competition because it was done just a day before her event. So we're in the audience, my wife and I, Zena. She's going through all the apparatus, and our hearts are pounding because of what happens with the hundreds of kids in this gymnasium that this hairpiece goes flying off in the wind. So we watched it go through everything, and it came to the very last event. It stayed on. She had to go running down the last event, down the mats, off the trampoline, over the horse, and to come down. And she looks at me, literally eyeball to eyeball, and I just froze. I mean, everything stopped for me. She went through the apparatus, came down, slapped her sides, perfect, stance, and gave me a thumbs up. I'm crying like a little baby. I heard the Spirit of God tell me that I'm going to take your talents that you make beautiful people more beautiful now to make people beautiful inside and out.
Wow,
Nice.
Great.
A legend 40 years ago.
Right.
That's
awesome.
an amazing story.
That's
And-
what I believe in.
yeah. Hey, who do we have here? We have Brett, right? And we have Funky Cold
Madina.
Madina. And it's amazing. So actually the foundation sets up through hairdressers or stylists who can come out and cut the hair. So that, Brett's actually out of Oceanside. And I'm like, hey, do you think you could find someone up in the San Fernando Valley? And lo and behold, we've got a person here that near and dear to her heart as well. So tell us a little how you get the stylists involved.
Well, that is the absolute most important part in the beginning steps of Wigs for Kids. And so I'm going to salute her because even though I haven't met you, I know you are a part of our family. We love you because without that hair, we could not produce these wonderful wigs for these children.
Yeah, and I deserve it because you know what? I really honestly would say exactly what you just said because I do hair. The fact of the inner healing.
Oh,
We're
yes.
all gifted with way in art.
Mm-hmm.
Art is healing, is love. And
right.
if we have love, there's unity that we can transform and clear and heal anything impossible to possibilities.
Absolutely.
With
Well
the
said.
right mind.
So you're going to witness a haircut today. And the thing that blows my mind is we're here in our studio. We love doing what we do in our studio. And we have Jeffrey and you guys. We met 3 new people today that are amazing. And we're going to have fun with them.
And it sounds like Jeffrey rides.
Right.
I do. Hey, I
What do you
want to know, are we gonna cut that white beard? We can use that hair.
Really? If there's a need.
That's amazing.
That might be a really small wig.
Yeah.
And we might just leave that as a wisdom.
Yeah.
We need wisdom right here.
Yes.
Jeff, what do you ride?
Well, an ST 1200.
Nice. Great.
Yeah.
Well, this community, go
I
ahead.
did one in your area and I just loved it. I rented one when I was out there, and then also in Seattle. And you have a beautiful place to ride. Just a beautiful
There's a lot of riding in California for sure.
Well, what we do with our riding, and it kind of reminds me of kind of what you guys are doing. We're reintroducing people to America, and every time we go on a trip, it's like we shake hands with America, and we see wonderful people across the country. And what this Tulane life has done for us, again, I'll repeat that, is we're sitting here and we met 3 new wonderful people that are part of our deal now, and we're really happy about
And
it.
we've met multiple sets of people. We've got almost 20,000 subscribers that we've met. Maybe not personally, but that have given us the support to actually do this. And like Lance was saying, when we first started the channel, it was really to inspire people to get out and ride and travel. And again, you didn't have to ride, but we put a blog together where you had a map where we ate, where we stayed, a little bit about points of interest. And we just wanted people to get out and inspire that in them. And what's happened is it's just completely reversed. We meet people like Brett that have inspired us even more. I mean, he's given of his time to go out and do this. And so, it's been such a great 18 months for us personally, for our health, for our spirits, because we've been in tons of small towns. We saw many people up in Sturgis that came up and wanted an autograph or shake a hand. And I mean, it's just been an incredible ride. And this community that we have together is one to behold. It's awesome.
And we're going to do more of this kind of stuff because it's really great.
For sure.
Yeah.
So you have anything you want to say, or do you want to stay on with us, Jeff, or what
I just want to know if I can join Lance with his grandchildren to go take a look at that beautiful vista that he's going to be showing them.
Absolutely.
Well, I want to give a tribute both to the stylists, but also Brent. Brent, man, you are precious. I have a son out in San Diego, so when I get out there to see him, I'm going to give you a yell, and maybe you two guys as well if you're around the area.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Face to face.
That would be amazing.
Love to do that.
We will do it. And we'll maybe even bring one of the kids. That would be great to have a kid on the air with you guys.
Yes.
Sounds good, Jeffrey. So let's get into the story. You want to start cutting a little hair while he's doing this, or how does this all
All
work?
right,
It'll be fun.
I'm just gonna end the split screen real quick.
Try not to.
Does he want to stay?
Oh, yeah, I'll leave mine here for a bit.
So what do you've got to create some ponytails? Is that what we hear?
Exactly. So what I do, especially with this hair, because he has many wigs underneath here, so much personality, character. My God. So I will take him in small section and cut him to the length that I know that is necessary for the wig for kids. That way, I would go back and do a cut that where it'll be his next style, and again, it'll be much more blessing to the crown what he's blessing others,
Yeah,
and
that's-
more is to come for him.
He's got a
That's
lot
right.
of hair there.
It's,
This
about
could be a 2-hour show.
40-something thousand miles on this hair.
Right.
If I wasn't here,
Got-
I think I would
Started
be going
growing this hair
back.
about the same time I got that bike.
So
when
I'm
this-
going to ask you a couple questions if you,
Yeah,
as
absolutely.
she's doing that, right? So what were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say, so this hair will be in wigs that, I don't know if it's many, few, one, or whatever, but the person that will have this, there will be a history in this hair that has traveled
For sure.
Wow.
around the nation.
Hey, Jeff, I thought I read, does it take 18 ponytails to make, what is,
18 to
how many?
25 yeah, 18 to 25 ponytails, where she's sectioning all those ponytails off. So
Yes.
it could be anywhere from 5 to 7 people. And one of the things that we'll do at Brent, because we're going to be very careful to be sure that we capture that hair, we're going to tie him in. Brent, you don't know this yet. We're going to tie you in with the child that gets your hair.
Oh,
Wow.
And, you and the other people. So there will be history. There will
Wow.
be history. And I don't
That's
think you'll
awesome.
ever have more of an impact when you see the little child smile on her face, because the hairpiece that is made for these children would cost them $4,000 to $5,000 if they went to buy that.
Wow.
wow.
And, they get it completely free. There's no cost. And we give them products and brushes and all the other things that are necessary and little gifts. But, when you really touch the base of a child's life this way, it's just amazing. Their lives are changed.
That's one of the reasons I chose Wigs for Kids over some of the other places that do stuff like this, is because it goes at no cost to the families. They're going through enough as it is.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
So-
because we got kids that have cancer. We have kids that have alopecia that need a new hairpiece every year because they're healthy, but they have an autoimmune disease that makes them bald. Kids that have been burnt, kids that have gone trichotillomania, where they actually twist and pull their hair and scalp themselves, out of a compulsive disorder. It's such traumatic level for the parent. I mean, you can relate to the kid maybe, but the parent that is giving the kid good health care and everything they could give them, good education, but can't give them hair back again when they come to
Right.
raise the kids. We make that connection.
Wow.
So we have some links in that people can see, but Jeff, what's the website?
Website is Wigs for Kids, all letters. I just put it in the chat, wigsforkids.org. And there's some incredible stories of kids that lives have been transformed, just been transformed.
And if you're just joining us, we're talking about a writer that just went around the country to raise money for Wigs for Kids. And not only is there the website that people can look at and donate, but these shirts that we're wearing, there are brand new Highwayman shirts. The forest green and the black. We'll be donating $5 for every sale through the month of November of the shirt to Brett's cause as well. And that will go into the Wigs for Kids. So very cool. He's got to keep his website up and link up for at least a month. I told him earlier. So what started this for you?
I used to, since high school, buzz my hair every 6 to 9 months, and my hair would get pretty long. And at a certain point, I was like, maybe I'll do something positive with it and donate it. Thought maybe I'd grow it out a year and be able to cut it and donate, until I started looking more into it. And there's length limits and stuff like that. So then it just kind of grew from there. And then, I have a good friend of mine that I met a couple of years ago that has alopecia, and I know how it kind of affected her, and just kind of, made that drive that much stronger in me to do this. And was trying to figure out, I played sports through college and stuff like that. Maybe I'd do a triathlon to raise money, or, do something with athletics. And then I'm just not built for endurance stuff.
Well, you rode a bike 8,000 miles.
Well, yeah, so I was, I love getting on the bike and putting some miles on it. So just kind of figured that would be the route to do it. And then, I've wanted to do this trip for a long time. So it just kind of matched up. It was time for me to get out of town for a little bit, and felt like time to do the hair thing.
So how long has this been in the works?
The last time I cut my hair was a little over 4 years ago.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. And then this trip, like I said, I've been kind of dreaming about this for a while, and just kind of felt like it was time to come to fruition here in this fall.
So how did you get the donations from people? Is it a GoFundMe? How did you end up?
So luckily, Wigs for Kids makes it super easy. You can set up your own donation page right on their website. So all the money goes directly to Wigs for Kids. I just pretty much promoted it on Instagram, and, obviously riding across the country, meet a lot of people.
And that link is in the description as well. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Link on my Instagram on the description for this video. And, just met a lot of great people who were, willing to donate. And,
right.
And
there is a lot of that out there.
Yeah,
sure.
There are a lot of awesome people out there.
Do we have any comments or anything, or any questions?
We got some comments, just people saying what's up, mostly some writing stuff. But also what I found out is you can put the comments on here on the screen. So once we get to, I figured we'd do some Q&A once she kind of gets into the haircut, and we can chat for now.
So what's the trip that you planned? How did that come about?
So it kind of started with, I've wanted to do the trip from Easy Rider for quite a while,
Right.
Obviously LA to New Orleans. Unfortunately, when I was planning this trip, New Orleans was underwater. So I kind of planned that out of the trip. And then when I went by there, they were wide open and ready to party. And well, I ended up not, kind of circumventing that for this, but that's all right. Save that for the next trip.
Right. There's a reason for everything.
Exactly. I ended up in Natchez, Mississippi instead, and it was everything I could have dreamed it could have been. Everything worked out perfectly.
So what was the entire loop that you did?
So I went from LA, pretty much Highway 40, Route 66 for part of it, into Texas. Went from Dallas down to Austin, and then out to Natchez, Mississippi. From there, I went up to Tennessee, over to the Carolinas, up to put my feet in the sand in Atlantic City, so I could say I did a proper coast to coast.
There you go.
And then kind of worked my way back across the top. I got a lot of friends and family in Michigan, so spent some time out there, and then did pretty much 90 all the way back across.
Wow.
And then from Seattle all the way back.
How long was the trip?
Ended up being just a little bit over 8,000 miles.
Okay. How many days?
6 weeks on the
weeks.
nose.
Now, did you change your oil and service the bike along the way?
I did. I met some great people, luckily, in Nashville, Tennessee, that changed my oil there. A guy in Kalamazoo, Michigan, got my oil changed there, and did the full service and everything. So.
Did you have to get new tires or anything along the way, or were you
got
good?
a brand new front tire the day I left, and that lasted me the whole trip. The rear tire's been awesome. So yeah, luckily the bike performed unbelievably.
Tell them what bike you were on.
I'm on a 2015 Dyna Street Bob.
Yeah.
And
so
he
not a
wasn't
bagger.
on a bagger.
Not a
He wasn't on a
bagger.
cruiser.
Yeah.
Wind in the face.
Yep. Just got a little quarter fairing.
Yeah.
And it does just enough.
And he's a big guy.
He's a good-sized kid here.
Yeah.
Affectionately a kid. I mean, we're older than you, so we can call you.
Fair enough.
You got a story or two that you?
I mean, you know how it is when you meet people on the road. It's pretty great.
Did you find any one particular character? Or?
I mean, I met a group of people in Nashville that were unbelievable. Went out with my buddy and his wife for drinks and stuff. Got back to the hotel. It was a Sunday night. Maybe I'll stay in the hotel bar for one or two.
Right.
Ended up meeting an unbelievable cast of characters. Kid who was 24, Marine, getting stationed at 29 Palms, doing his own cross country trip. an older couple that was there, another couple that was in for the football, the Titans football game, and we ended up, all of us, including our bartender, going out for that night.
Oh, really?
It was,
Out on the town.
Yeah, it was the night I was waiting for.
Right.
It was pretty perfect.
How are we doing back here with the?
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
His hair is really amazing and just absolutely gorgeous. I just know that I have to focus and think like, yeah, his hair is here, his energy is here, right in the crown for him to bless others.
Yes.
And because of the heart and soul he is, there's magic. That's how magic works.
Yes.
So I look at it, I'm like, oh my God, how can I cut his hair? It's going to a good cause. Okay? Otherwise, I would be like, no way, I'm not cutting your hair.
So
I love long hair.
how many
But I love-
ponytails you think we'll get out of this?
But the thing is also, it's like bravery for him to have a hair like this and to cut it. What a gift.
That's
Well,
what it's for.
We women,
Yeah.
I have to charge women, I'm not kidding you, $10,000 to do something like that, but not so gorgeous as wavy and great color. And imagine women who are suffering right now more than men with our hair. I mean, women are getting very thinned out and chemical. So for him to have it and bless somebody, what a gift.
Yes.
So he's got better hair than most women, and he doesn't have to pay $10K.
Right.
So we got Daryl Oak saying Tulane Salon on the way. David Freeman, scissor anticipation.
Yes.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
if we can really blow this channel up, and we've talked about, opening a Tulane Life building that would have a stylist and a tattoo and a pool table and some lifts.
Moto
and,
shop and
get the whole
Little bar.
studio. I mean, if anyone wants to donate, that's So
Wow.
what did you end up raising on the trip?
Right now, we're at $6,000.
Nice.
So
Nice.
on my actual page, it says 3,000, but there is a foundation in Indiana that donated through a little bit different way. $3,000 has been attributed to
Really?
my page. So
Well, that's fantastic.
yeah, it's people went above and beyond what I thought it would be. I originally set my goal at $2,000, and within the first week and a half, we're at just over 1,500. So well, I guess I got to raise it to 3,000. Within another 2 weeks, we're getting close to that. So I raised it to 4, and that's where it sits right now. And people have been really, really awesome about it.
And he had to ride up here. He's in Oceanside, so that's about almost 2 hours, depending on how the crow flies. But
And through LA traffic.
through LA traffic to come up here to do this today, so that's pretty darn cool.
So when I was in Northern California, people kept saying, "Oh, we're so glad you made it home. You're safe." All this stuff. Well, still got the worst part of the ride to go.
Yeah.
So you actually did more like 9,000 miles, right? Because
Yeah.
you did 500 the day before. or
Yep,
something.
rode down from Sacramento the day before I officially started the trip. So be a few hundred miles over 9,000.
Hey Jeffrey, how many kids have you helped over the 40 years? Do you know?
We did an estimate and we found that we did almost 10,000 kids that we've impacted, them and their moms. I mean, it shocked me because you don't count on the way. It's like the miles. I'm sure, Brett, you don't count them as you're going along. Otherwise, you get caught up in that. But when we started doing the evaluation for the 40th year anniversary, we realized how many kids we've taken care of in that 40-year period of time. But what was even better is the stories. We did interviews like this. We've got a podcast for our YouTube channel, Wigs for Kids YouTube. And we did interviews all through the last 3 months. And the stories we heard and the impact of parents and stylists and people like Brent, it just blew me away. I mean, I've been there since the beginning, as you know, with my wife, but it just impacted us a big way. And, that's why we put them on the YouTube. We actually did a lot of them. But I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
How did Tulane Life begin? You got a professional studio. I've been doing video production for over 25 years. How did this all come about? Give me a quick snapshot.
Well, heck, I mean, from the beginning, I mean, our wives have known each other for 38 years. They used to work in a pediatrician's office together. And the three of us hung out, and then Galen came into the picture. We've known each other 30 years.
32
Yeah.
years.
And we'd always have a great time at parties or work parties, and we'd say we should hang out. We never really did. Well, later in life, we found out at another party that he had a Harley and I had a Harley, and we said, let's go start riding.
Yes.
Where we're doing these great trips, and our families on both sides said, why don't you guys vlog this stuff or share it with the world? Because you come home from these journeys and you're like excited, and you're telling us where you went and who you met. So we started Tulane Life, and go ahead, finish up the.
No, I mean, we've always had, we've been writing a lot together really the last 5 years. And we had support from great people that we call our friends, which you can see down in the links as well, motorcycle parts companies. And so, we went to them and started talking about this idea of maybe creating a van and going up and down the state, trying to help sell for them. I was in the financial services industry. I left 2 years ago, got bored. And so the van thing, his son was like, you're crazy. So we said, is it time to launch? And the answer was, it's time. And Tulane actually came from a friend of ours, Luke Leatherman. We were on our first trip to Sturgis. I typically do the navigation and the mapping and stuff. And so he asked me if we're going to stay mostly on the 2 lanes. And that's all we used to ride is 2 lanes. I mean, we'd do highways and freeways to get to places, but we love riding on 2 lanes where we're out in the sticks and no one's around us. And then we get into these funky little towns and enjoy that. And so it was a natural kind of fit to call us 2 Lane Life. And then we liked the highwaymen. We liked that kind of feeling. So it's 2 Lane Life Highwaymen. You don't see Josh. Maybe you can see you should poke your head.
Exactly, Josh.
With that glass of wine, so cheers.
Yes.
But Lance and I went on a ride, and we iPhoned it the whole time, and then we tried to learn iMovie, and that was a big mistake. But we had one of the guys over at his son's shop is right next door to us. One of the guys over there, Rob Scott, mentioned that he had a friend in Josh that really does some great editing, and so we met him. And if you look at our first drops to where we're at today, it's been a lot of experience. We've been very consistent in what we're doing in terms of the drop, but the quality of the drops are, to us, we feel more cinematic. We tend not to be kind of a traditional YouTube. We're not clickbait. We want to tell a story, and we want to tell people about this country and the places that they can go see. In fact, we did mostly South Dakota and West, but we just recently did a trip from Milwaukee to Maine. So we've hit now both coasts. But yeah, it's been just an amazing journey so far.
Yeah, we've done the entire Route 66. We've been in Texas. We have a whiteboard with next year's trips lined up, and we're going to be doing a lot of documentaries of Route 66 and small towns and meeting the people. In fact, there's a 94-year-old barber in Seligman, Arizona that we're going to meet that was part of the heritage of Route 66. So things like that. We work with Harley Davidson and some photo shoots and things that they do. And it just turned into a life for us now. And that's what we do 24/7.
Oh, wow.
And there's only 3 of us. And so if you go back to some of the early lives, not that you will, but Lance and I are looking up in the iPhone with our nose. You can see nose hair, and we're like, we're in different places. So this isn't the end of this studio. We'll continue to evolve it to become even better. But we blew out his office and created a larger space for us, and we bought the mics, and we've got the gear, and it's just kind of morphing along.
Yep.
Josh is editor, filmer. He's behind the scenes and in the front of the scenes as well, putting the magic down on the screen there.
But yeah, kind of back to the beginning side of things. I guess I'll show my face in here. I got a call. I was like still on my last year of college. Am I in there?
Yeah.
Doing my thing for business school, doing video stuff on the side, and I got in a crash, and I was just kind of walking again, and I get a call from them for this, and can you edit a YouTube video? And coming from maybe more of the commercial side of things, I was like, a YouTube video with phone footage. I guess I'll do it. These guys seem like cool dudes. And then just fast forward to now, we're using full format cameras. We got 10 cameras on any given trip, all these microphones. We're seeing all this crazy stuff.
A drone.
I was riding sport bikes at the time, and I'd never really done more than a couple 100 miles in a day. And, we went on our first ride, and I was kind of hooked with exploring and this different way of traveling, to the point where now 15, 16 months later, I can't even stand flying or driving in a car to go places.
Right.
He's on 3 Harleys in
a couple months. Yeah. So it's been a cool experience,
But he's I think if you look at the way we present the videos today, even the lives have gotten way better, but it is really a credit to some of the techniques that he's employing in our sound design. And we're not point of view folks. We hang off the bikes, and so we get different angles, and we don't recommend that for everyone, but that's kind of how we do it.
We have a little patch wall back there where we have firefighters, military, first responders. We do things with them as well for their cancer foundations, and we're kind of getting into this giving back because we meet great people everywhere, but we meet great people that have a cause, like these people here, and it's kind of evolving into, we're doing documentaries, we're with people. It's fantastic what life will give you when you present yourself to it.
Yes.
Well, you got to be open to it. So I think she's ready to cut that first. Are you ready?
Yeah, as ready as I'll ever be.
Okay.
Yeah,
Drum roll.
what I do is I go right in the back. He doesn't know what's going on, but something is up.
Uh-oh.
And we're about. There we go.
Well done, mate.
Yeah.
There it is.
Look how healthy it is too. The color.
Wow.
I was a little worried it was going to be a little too damaged after this.
After the trip.
Oh my God, no! Your hair's
Well,
so
we're on our way.
Brett, I don't know if they told you, we did a live stream on our 40th anniversary, and we were talking about you. We showed you pictures and everything else, and I said I could picture Brett, even though I haven't met him, flowing in this long hair on his Harley Davidson. I said I'd love to have a sketch of that.
You get a full face?
I do have a full
Okay,
face.
so you still got some flowing going, but
Oh yeah,
But
through Arizona and stuff, I got off Route 66 and got the helmet off
For sure.
and let it flow a little bit.
Did anyone get a picture of that?
I don't think so.
You
There,
didn't
there
take a
wasn't
selfie?
there wasn't a soul out there. Oh yeah, on my my
on
Instagram
now.
stories, it's on there. There's some hair flowing out the back for sure. But yeah, it was an amazing trip. Hit a lot of weather coming back, which makes you appreciate the nice days.
Right.
Brett,
So
what
did
you do now? What's next for you?
Just kind of trying to figure it out. I quit my job right before I did this trip, so kind of picking up the pieces down there in Oceanside and figuring out what the next step is.
Wow.
So
And that's the cool thing about life. Things happen. And then things, all of a sudden you're somewhere where I never thought I'd be doing this, but it's where you were supposed to be.
Exactly.
I
You know?
love that.
It was just kind of my time to do
Right.
this, and we'll see.
Any
see what
comments from
happens.
Jen in there?
she commented earlier and said, if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask away.
Okay. Cool.
And now for anyone currently watching, feel free to ask away questions. I'll put those up on the screen. We'll have whoever you're asking answer them.
Awesome.
He looks like a different guy already.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
David Freeman says that's one way to get rid of split ends.
By the way, who's your favorite? I mean, gosh, there's so many. That's kind of the dumb question, but I'm gonna say it anyways. If you would go back to school and like really say which school you would go back and hair designing, who would you suggest? Like, what is your style like?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, that's for you, Jeffrey.
Well, I had the opportunity, honey, to work with Fidel Sassoon and Paul Mitchell.
Beautiful.
And when I was 18 years old, ready to go to college, and I'd already had my license, I went to see my first New York beauty show. And you know what those are like. They're just absolutely off the charts. And I saw my first European haircutters. So I came home and told my mom I wasn't going to be an architect. I wasn't going to University of Cincinnati. I'm going to Italy, and I'm going to learn how to cut the hair with the best. And I flew over there with nothing more, not even a hotel room, and just went, improv, and was picked up by serendipity of some of the most greatest hairdressers in the world at that point that I didn't even know who they were. I didn't even know how to speak to them because they were speaking Italian, but they took liking to me because they said this American McDonald's kid was coming over here to learn how to cut hair.
Wow.
That's an awesome story, though. I mean, that's
amazing.
That's how you do it,
Just like you said, Lance, if you're open to it, people are wonderful. I really got impressed by what you guys said. There are so many beautiful people in America, just absolutely incredible, and they don't get enough show. They just don't.
Right.
They just don't get enough show. And I'm excited about what you guys are doing, because just traveling around the country, you're going to show the real people that really have made this country what it is.
Big time.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we always say, if you're living in a city or you're living somewhere and you're just at your house and you're watching TV and you're feeling bad about what's going on, all you got to do is get out and find the country and meet the American people that are out there, that are people from all around the world.
Yes.
And it's nothing but you'll say, what are they talking about here? Because what I'm seeing and living is way better and how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Well, I just, what's been interesting to me is we've got over 50 countries represented on our YouTube site. So we've got that kind of reach, which is pretty crazy. And we find comments from other countries as well are inspiring. Like, some of these countries are still in lockdown, and they watch our videos religiously every week.
Here,
Wednesdays.
Hold that up.
Looks like
Hold
a
that
puppy.
up.
Let's get a picture of that.
Wow.
Hey, 3, 2, 1, boom.
Yeah.
Also, a quick shout outs. Let's see, who was that? Quick shout out to David Freeman from Marion Station, Pennsylvania, who just picked up a limited edition Highwayman t-shirt from the website, and that a portion of that will be donated to the Wigs for Kids Foundation. So thank you, David, for that.
Awesome. And I just want to clarify
We've
one
had
thing.
3 or
though.
4 since we started,
Yep.
so that's cool.
We're very prideful of our country, and we talk about it. We show our flags, and we love the people in it. But I've told people before on the lives, if no matter what country you live in, take that same pride in your country and put that positive attitude and positive vibe with your countrymen anywhere you are, because there's beautiful people all over the world.
But my sense is they do.
They do, absolutely.
My sense is if we go ride in Europe next year, if we can, or Australia, I think by what we're hearing through the channel,
Absolutely.
I'll call them affectionately our mates.
Yes.
I think we're going to see some cool stuff.
I mean, I've been in Brazil, I've been in Argentina, I've been in Europe, and they're great people everywhere. We're just prideful of our country here because we live here and we are here.
All right. So he wanted a buzz, but you're not going to allow that, right?
No, because I'm going to take him 2 steps. I'm going to say here, like, see his hair with the beard balance, right?
Right.
He can be shaved and look very handsome and him. But I think, a little design here and there and everywhere, it's artistic.
But the cool thing is you can do exactly what she's saying and have this design. You can go with it for, because you can buzz it whenever.
Yeah.
You can't make
That's
it cool
why he's so
always.
great. He's
That
not
is
like,
true.
you know what? I know I want
I
this.
mean, you
forget
just
about
run
it.
over and get some shears.
It's not-
When my hair was really long, when I went to get it cut, he wouldn't let me go short. He just did the like you were gonna get, and then later figured it out.
Right. See, I think him and we are in the same belief system, because I come from Sassoon, and we do not do clippers. We do scissor for comb.
Yes.
And then it's just more like everything is a cause and effect.
Right.
His hair. So his hair is being like hand energy again.
Right.
That metal thing on the head. No.
I mean, look, we're at a barber shop. He's got his beer. You need another beer?
I'm all set. Just trying not to get hair in it.
Okay. This is perfect.
No, that 1 year is just protection. He got it all there. We gotta have something, right?
Well, whether it's painting, I was a sign painter for years. Which
No, you
Were
don't
ya?
say.
Yeah, so hand lettering was my thing. My dad was oil painting. If you cut hair, all these things that it's artists, it's artistry.
I just took a week-long class in Iowa during this trip with Mike Myers, sign
No
painter.
way. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So that's kind of the route I'm trying to get into, sign painting, pinstriping.
It's a great thing. I'll show you my old kit when we're done.
Absolutely. That'd be awesome.
That's funny.
Well, I have a couple questions for you.
All right.
How long have you been writing?
About as long as I've been growing my hair. It's been about a little over 4 years. Right when I moved back to California, got a halfway decent job, and of course Harley was pretty eager to give me a loan, and
Of course.
at a pretty high interest rate.
Been there, done that.
Took the plunge.
Oh yeah. Figure my monthly payment was equal to I was commuting all over the Bay Area at the time in my truck, so figure the monthly payment was about what I was paying in gas.
Right.
Riding in traffic all the time isn't the best.
Right.
So I was kind of falling out of love with it. And then about a year after I bought the bike, I did a 2,000-mile weekend trip from Sacramento out to Salt Lake City, down camped outside of St. George, and then came back down to LA and back up the coast. And that was pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like it. I get the traffic thing because we don't like to deal with that as much either. But I mean, when you're out on those open roads, and especially on the 2-lane stuff, and around here, the roads close to us, there's like strawberry fields and orange blossoms. And when you're in the mountains and you see and you're by yourself or you're with your buddies, and just that experience of riding and the euphoria of that is just, you can't beat it.
Yeah, there's really nothing like it.
No.
It's you get close, into old cars and stuff like that. My first car is a 1971 F100 that you saw me in.
Yeah.
Still running. And you get close and that kind of stuff, but it's still just not.
No,
not
old
quite the
cars
same.
are definitely cool, but there's nothing like I don't care what bike you're on, as long as you're out in the elements. Like our wives love riding with us because they love the experience of what they're seeing and hearing and feeling on the road there. And they're not riders, they're passengers, but they just love getting out with it.
Yeah.
There's
I tried to read Zen and the Art of Motorcycle.
I read that
a few
one.
times.
That was it.
I've made it about halfway through twice.
Okay, that was the same deal. It was, for me personally, I like to read in the morning, at night, something to start the day, end the day. And that was not a complicated read, but a little less than super engaging.
Yeah, his writing style is not the best.
But great lessons.
It does have a thing at the very beginning that's a little bit cheesy, but I've always liked it, where it's like, says something like, when you're in a car, it's like watching the world through a movie screen or a TV screen or something like that. But when you're on a bike, it's like you're in the scene, you're part of it. If it's hot, you're hot. If it's cold, you're cold. You're experiencing everything.
No, for sure.
And especially rolling into different towns and cities and stuff, getting that perspective is.
Yep.
Well, that's
special.
the other thing, right? I mean, you get to hear the history. We rolled into one town on Route 66. Well, it was a bar, not even the town really. And one of the patrons we met there judged the distance he traveled by the number of beers he drank. So if he went 6 beers, it was like a mile or 6 miles. And it was like, okay, you're in your side-by-side, and if he has 24 beers, he's going to go 24 miles.
I'm not sure it was a beer per mile, but
yes, it was
something along those lines.
I'm not embellishing on
But
the story.
kind of back to that quote too. And before that, I guess, real quick, another shout out to Tyrone Hamlin, aka Ty's CVO Glide.
Thanks, Ty.
He just picked up a green Highwayman shirt, so
Yes.
$5 of that will be donated to the Wigs for Kids Foundation. Thank you for the support. But yeah, back to that quote. We went to a ride out to Wyoming, out to
Jackson Hole.
Jackson and it was the most. We're passing by the Snake River on the what is that? The 89? Forget what highway that is, but. Just insane views. Some of the best views you're getting, perfect weather, and you're sitting there and you're in it and you're just loving it. And I was there about 3 weeks later for a wedding, and I'm sitting there, I'm with my family, and I'm in the back of this giant SUV in the car, and it just wasn't even close to the same thing.
Right.
I almost didn't even want to look out the window.
Right.
I'm just looking on my phone. There's no wind in my face. You're missing that soul, and it's a totally different thing.
Yeah. I just want you all to know we have an artist here at work. She's not cutting hair. She's creating a look, right?
You're awesome. You have a good eyes.
Yeah.
That's why you do what you do.
Well, we're creating art as well.
Yes, we are.
Right?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's amazing.
Absolutely.
And speaking of that, since you're already halfway there, Galen, show them what kind of socks are you rocking today?
I've got just a
Are those some flamingos? All right.
flamingo. I mean, that's about all we get.
Well,
these
I'm
days.
branded today. I got the
He's
two.
Yo,
right.
and shout out to Jen Dell. Tell Brett someone just donated $50 to his campaign.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hey, shout out to you,
Thank
whoever
you.
that may be. That is awesome.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and what studio you're at and
Definitely. So I've been doing hair forever because, again, I love hair. But I have done a lot of other businesses besides doing hair. But I always come back with hair. Traveled basically with hair a lot. I worked a lot with Warner Brother, Disney Channel, FX, movies industry with all that grace. And with COVID, I'm here back in City, Salon. It's a very creative place. Wonderful, wonderful people that have always been there since it was open. I luckily travel a lot with her, but this time I'm with Rua, and we're very busy. We're very successful of having wonderful people. And again, I'm going to say I have at least 5 to 6 people a week donating hair. That goes from the kids that are 8 years old to 11 to 13 to a
Nice.
gentleman like him and many more. It's just amazing of what's going on. I see a lot of beauty, a lot of celebration of new age, new world, new way. You either see it or you don't. None of my business.
Well, I appreciate you being here in such short notice. I mean, it
Yes.
pretty much whipped this
Yes.
up. I called 3 or 4 salons and didn't quite get the same response. So really
You know what it is
appreciate ya.
again? It's called the unity. We're meant to meet and have not only this gift but many others behind our
Right.
scene. The conversation is the beauty of what happens.
I mean, like we say, we find this passion along the open road, but we're actually sitting in our home studio with the passion. I guess we don't need to travel anymore.
no, that's not happening. That's not happening. But I don't know. I mean, we've talked a lot about kind of the last 18 months, and I've never been a believer in luck. You create your luck. And I think a lot of things that have happened for us over the last 18 months has been almost through fate.
Yes, I
You
agree.
know, why did I see an Instagram post of him, and why is he at Thrashing the next day?
You're right.
How odd is that, and how lucky we got with that fate?
Right,
You know, it's
right.
just amazing to me. And we arguably started a channel in a time period that you couldn't travel,
Right.
and we traveled all year long.
Anyway.
And luckily, and it wasn't that we're pounding our chests that we're against things or none of that. It was we wanted to get out. Certain times we put a camp stove in a luggage piece and went up and had, hamburger patties with our wives up in the mountains. We had to make our own lunch,
Right.
but we didn't stop. And so I think someone's rewarding us for that.
Maybe
You
that's
know.
that's a
It's
good way of
interesting.
thinking. Yeah.
What are you checking out? Do you want your haircut next?
No, I'm just watching the action with the, like she says, with the scissors.
How's
It's
it
like
looking?
a paintbrush instead
I
of
don't
a
know
big
what she's
lawnmower.
doing now. She's got some little slashes and waves. We asked her to put the Tulane Life logo in there.
I know you never know. Anything can happen from here.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
So
we got
Jeff, you're in Ohio
Yeah, Cleveland, Ohio.
and you're still there.
Yeah, traveled all over the world, but have come back to the home base, not very far, but one street away from where I grew up.
Oh,
Wow.
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 And the foundation's out of Ohio as well, right?
Yeah, in fact, we have a century-old home. It was built in 1893, and it was the first schoolhouse in Westlake, Ohio.
Wow.
And one day I'm driving down the street, and we were putting ourselves wherever we could find space. It was and it was growing especially in the early years. And I see this older woman, putting a sign out in front of this beautiful old century home, and I literally turned a U-turn around, came in the driveway. She made me coffee, breakfast, treated me like talk about meeting the right kind of people. And that day we bought ourselves headquarters for Wigs for Kids, and it's just been a blessing.
Wow. You know, we were just in Sandusky, Ohio.
You were?
Yes, we went there after we were in Milwaukee because my mother was born there. My grandmother lived there. And she's like, go down this street and go here and take pictures and show me, So
it's completely changed. Amazingly changed. Did you go by the marina? Did you see the city marina?
Yes.
Friends of ours built that.
Wow.
Marina business, and that whole area has just exploded with restaurants and.
Where did we stay?
It was directly, if you would have stand on top of the building, the back of the building was facing the marina. It was a little boutique hotel.
Yeah, I know just where you were at. Yeah.
Yep. So that was, and the same deal there. We went down the street. We found this little local spot for breakfast, and we're getting in there, getting ready to order, and she's like, "Hey, like, we're sorry, but some of the prices have raised because all the stuff that's going on in the economy." And little did we know, our bill total was less than like a cup of coffee at Starbucks. For $5 you get this giant plate. But we met all these great people on the street, get back to the hotel, meet this couple who kind of did the same thing as you and met or bought this century plus old home and decided to settle there, and heard some great stories, and it was just a good time.
It was neat.
Well, but at the same time, it's one of these fate things. We had planned to go to Sandusky, not because Lance's mom and them. We just planned that I wanted to get to a marina somewhere close to the water, and we find out that that's exactly where we're staying. So he got his mother to narrate a little bit on phone so that we could go out into the town there and see where she spent her summers and homes that her grandmother had. And it was really kind of interesting to tie that history together with her. And who knew?
What's the island on Erie, or where everyone goes for the summer? What's that called?
Yeah, Pelee Island, or
resort.
Yeah, the resort area. I'm drawing a blank. But were you guys on your bikes?
Yeah, sure were.
Oh my!
We're only on our bikes when we're out.
Lance and I don't own cars.
Yes, we really don't.
Good men.
So we got one more. We got Philip Pappas from Woodhaven, Michigan. He got himself a Highwayman t-shirt in green. Thank you, Philip. One more time for people just tuning in.
Yes.
Every Highwayman t-shirt sale, we donate to this cause. So thank you guys for the support.
All right, all this Ohio talk.
Look
Finally
at-
got a Michigan guy in there.
What's
I was born in
So yeah, we got some
Where at?
comments. We got
Right on. My parents are both from Detroit. I went to Western Michigan in Kalamazoo.
But when I was 6 months old, we moved to California.
his
So
favorite line.
But we had to stop on that same trip. We were going to go down through Detroit, but we didn't have time. So we took a little detour and went into Sturgis,
Yep.
Michigan.
just so I could
Just so
say, I
we
was
could
familiar.
say he's been in Michigan.
There you go.
And we went to Sturgis twice last year. Not
There
many
you
people
go.
get to do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sturgis, South Dakota, Sturgis, Michigan.
So the people can read what.
Yeah,
See
so
what Yogurt's
I just
saying?
put that on there. Riding with Yogurt, aka Shannon, says it's because of the Tulane life that I have numerous new and wonderful people in my life. It's amazing how this community can change a person's life. Thank you, guys.
We love you,
Thank
Shannon.
you.
Shannon.
Wow.
And then here's another one.
I have something for you, Shannon. All you got to do is show your face here.
Yep, Scotty Flyfish. Like many small companies, Tulane Life adapted to survive on the road. But isn't that Darwin? Survival of the fittest. Your travels have changed my vision of traveling, and I'm ordering a green tea soon.
Thank you.
My man, appreciate you.
That's an awesome comment.
And this is a good question. Tom Comer, can we make a donation to the charity? Yes. In the description of the YouTube video, there's a link to Brett's personal donation link, and you can donate on there. That or get a shirt or go directly to wigsforkids.org, and you can help the cause. Thank you for that, Tom. What else we got?
And, it's just like even talking and learning about Jeffrey here, who is on the screen. He has an amazing story of what he did and how he learned his business and where he came full circle to what he's doing now. That's a really incredible story.
Yeah, that's neat.
Well, he's a traveler.
Right.
You always say, what, our time machines?
I always call our motorcycles time machines because when you travel, you go back in time and you get to see all the old cool stuff because that's what people want to see.
I think they do want to see it. You know.
Yeah, I got to tell you a quick funny story while you're waiting for some more comments to come in. I was in Seattle going I rented the ST 1200 as well, and I'm driving through those trees. And if you've been through you know how high the trees are. They're just amazing. And I was like having trouble keeping concentration on the road because it was just so beautiful. But I come down this decline, and I come to the bottom of the street with the stop sign, and I didn't realize that there was a little ledge that was off the street. Put my foot down, and there was nothing there. And I laid it down. I laid it down real easy. But I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm out with nobody, and I'm getting, you know how you're supposed to pull it up and bring it up with you, and it's not budging. And I'm thinking, and my phone won't work. Nothing's working. So finally, these two guys in a pickup truck come down. They're all concerned if I'm hurt. I'm just embarrassed. And
it's almost worse.
These two boys helped me get this thing up, and I just took off. But it was just, again, one of you beautiful people out there.
Yeah.
Well, I had something embarrassing happen.
Are you going to confess?
Yesterday?
Yeah.
On live?
Where in my house is, I have a little bit of an incline, and in California, you don't get a lot of fall colors, but I planted some deciduous trees. And so I've got these liquid ambers, and they're starting to turn. And I parked the bike, but I left it running because I wanted to make sure I could get out of there, for some reason. I don't know why. And I'm taking a picture, and the bike walked itself down a little to a place and just went bink.
And it has some scratches.
And it has a couple. I'm so pissed.
I hope it was worth it because I saw you posted the picture.
Well, I got more than one picture.
Yep.
Trust me on that. But I could not believe my eyes.
Did you get a picture of it laying down?
No.
Because that would have been a good picture.
I was like, what just happened? And I picked it up.
Well, I remember granted, I guess I've gotten in one crash on the street, but aside from that, I've only dropped the bike once, and it was when I was a new rider. And back in the day when I was living at my parents' house, I parked in the backyard, had to ride through a grass strip to get to where I parked it. And I was wearing my fresh pair of Jordans. I didn't want to get them wet, and the grass had just been watered. So I ride through, and just a quick little tap on the front brake. I was only going a mile an hour, but she slid out, and I tipped it over, and no one saw, no one's around, bike didn't get, but in my head, I was just having a panic. I'm like, oh my God, I just dropped the bike. So, we feel for you, Galen. We'll start a foundation for yourself.
Yes. What else? I saw a couple comments pop.
Let's see here. We got Scotty Flyfish, water dips for the rain. They are a challenge for short-legged folks. Just ride through it, brother. Let's see. Alex Hernandez says he could use a good haircut too. Well, hey, if it's long enough, you can donate to Wigs for Kids. Hit us up.
Wait, is that Alex, our driver?
Is it?
Because
it must be. If I had
bald.
to get, I'm getting it now. He put the smiley face. Alex, decent joke. I'll give it to you. And then Jen Dell says, "Did you go to Cedar Point?"
Yes,
Cedar Point.
We
yes.
did.
We didn't go to Cedar Point, but that's where
we
people
were.
used
Yep.
to be. Yeah.
Did you go to Put-in Bay?
It wasn't that one. I forget. Yeah, we didn't hit that up.
No.
And then we got Azael Carvalho. I need to brush up on my Portuguese, but something about group motorcycle rides and something. I'm guessing it's something good. So thank you, Azael. Let's see. We got D. Ryder from Hanford, California in the house.
What up?
We got Freddie the Fly in the house, and all these good people.
Yeah, you want to drink?
What is here? You know what I did forget?
Your spray
A
bottle.
little bit of
see.
spray bottle.
Sorry.
Technically,
We got some WD-40. Will that work?
Hey, give her some of the Shine Works.
Yeah, it'll smell good at least.
Smell good too.
So I guess question for you, Jeffrey. What's your favorite place that you've ever ridden on two wheels?
Shenandoah Mountains. It was the most amazing. I was going over to New York for the Marrakeed, motorcycle show, and driving through those mountains was just absolutely breathtaking. I mean, I literally had to stop and catch the panorama, because I would have had an accident otherwise, because it was just so beautiful. Every minute of it was just gorgeous at that point.
That's awesome. And it's what's kind of funny. We just recently, let's call it maybe the last 9 months of the channel, maybe a year, we've been on comm devices in the helmets. And to hear Josh and some of the Lance and I, the first kind of travels we've done were really places we had been before and seen. And so we loved it. But to hear, Josh, announce what he's seeing, and it's been so fun just to listen to him and how excited he gets. We came into Zion and he was like, oof, and just this, I love this. But that's happened just so many times with him. And it's great to hear and see, because it's nice to enjoy it, but it's nice to see others enjoy it, And
half the time I'm just thinking out loud, but I mean, Zion, we just went through the North Rim, and there's, we try to keep our videos clean, but hold on, let me pick up the mics. We try to keep our videos as clean as possible, but there was a clip when we were leaving one of the fingers in the North Rim of the Grand Canyon in the video that dropped yesterday, and I'm filming with my GoPro, not even thinking. I just go, oh bleep, like just I couldn't even believe what I was seeing, because these trees are passing by, the sun is setting, the shadows are casting over these just amazing cliffs, and some of these back roads that some people might not be able to get out and see are just phenomenal.
That's neat. What do you do, Josh, other than the sound system?
Well, when I met them, I was in college for I was getting my MBA or my business degree, and I was just kind of starting to apply to internships and stuff. And I'd quit my job about a year and a half before to just do video stuff full time, and then took the risk, jumped off, if you will, and kind of did this and ran with it. And now this is pretty much it. I stopped doing freelance about 9 months ago, and we're just growing this and doing the damn thing.
Josh basically is with us 24/7. He's an old soul at a young 24. He can hang out with the old guys and he can hang out with the young guys, and he's kind of just
bridges the gap. That's cool.
Yeah.
And I got a bed, but I'm kind of here a little more than that. I'm there every couple of days.
Jeffrey, we're always looking for partners to invest, and if Josh is the only one making any money out of this damn thing.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to be one of your viewers, because this is too much fun to miss. Hey, Josh, what are you shooting with? You look like you're shooting with 4K.
Yeah, so I mean, for the most part, while we're riding, that's actually just a GoPro. And I posted something today, oddly enough, or not oddly enough, but on that trip, sometimes I'll take phone videos as we're going and post it on social. On day one, I managed to demolish my phone on the 15, and it was unusable. So I didn't post anything. So today I posted just a couple clips, and I had all these comments. Oh my God, that's a GoPro. Because, most people don't realize you can actually treat a GoPro like a real camera and have, manual settings, manual shutter speed, manual ISO, use filters to get that motion blur effect that you actually get from a big camera. Now, that being said, we do have a full format Sony camera that we do use for interviews and all that other stuff. And we're working on kind of upgrading the whole system and getting this stuff going.
Which is what you're shooting with right now.
Which is what I'm actually shooting with right now for the stream. We kind of tricked the computer into thinking that a mirrorless camera is a webcam. But, also that being said, a lot of people have reached out, hey, I want to start, sharing my own story and making a YouTube and this and that. And it's really not about the gear, because anyone with a decent phone could be, sharing their story and sharing whatever they want to share. And for the most part, it's more about the story being told, not how it's told,
Yeah,
See,
the 12s and the 13s are incredible.
Incredible.
For filming as well.
Well, while we're riding, Galen and I each are a helmet cam and a handheld cam, because we do a lot of handheld work. Josh is with the GoPro and his Sony. Sometimes he's riding and shooting with the Sony, and then we'll use the drone. But we got a lot of things, because when we have the helmet on, we have conversations going, and that's how. And you'll see us riding, and you'll see our hands moving. Our conversations are real, and they're real in the moment. We usually do one take. If we make a mistake, it's in it, because it's who we are, and that's what happens.
Yeah.
We had a family, the Shaws, that have followed us since the beginning. We did a ride in Moab, Utah, and we grabbed them in St. George, and they came with us for the day. We had some weather. We had some just incredible riding.
Oh, we had some weather.
To see us in action that night at lunch and that night during dinner, they were talking about how it was so amazing to see and be part of this whole production. You know, the rides don't take 5 hours anymore. They take 8 or 9 because you're stopping for drones, you're stopping for, you know, various different shots and interviews with people. And so it really has turned into more of a production than just, you know, kind of a point and shoot, but you can still, to Josh's point, tell a story. We just chose to find Josh.
Well, we would love to tell a story when we ride, when we're done filming and we're going home or going to the next stop and nothing's going on, but we have our headsets on and we're talking. If we could have that captured and put it, would have to be on
But it's Patreon,
a paid deal, because
Yeah.
we couldn't let the average person hear the shows and inventions and craziness that we're talking.
Some of the stuff we talk about when cameras aren't
We
rolling.
amuse ourselves on these rides.
And real quick, an absolutely huge shout out to Mary and Jeff, who just donated $200 to Brett's fundraising page. Mary and Brett,
Thank you, guys.
Mary and Jeff, thank you guys
That is
so much.
so
Appreciate
awesome. Can you DM us and we'll send you out a couple shirts?
Yeah, for
it. Please
sure.
do. Mary and Jeff, good stuff.
Good stuff.
Would anyone like a cold beverage?
I'll take another one.
Sure.
I'm all set.
All
He
right.
just got one. He just got
Nice.
one.
How do you guys usually start, you know, planning a trip? Or, you know, sometimes it can be hard. You say, I want to go to this place, but how do you kind of go about finding spots to stop and eat and stay?
Wing it.
So we usually will plan at least day one. So we kind of get a direction, because there's been many times that while we're on the way to the destination, a viewer may have seen us on the freeway or on the 2-lane,
And this is
and
real.
they text us and say, "You're here. You should probably check out this."
Sure.
So we were going to Mount Lemmon as an example last year, which is in Arizona. And we got down by Phoenix, and a viewer saw us, and he texted us and he said, "You need to go over to Goldfield and to Tortilla Flat. You're that close. It's not that far away." So we're like, okay. So we do that. It was so incredible. We get to Tortilla Flat. We meet the owner of the town.
Wow.
Okay, it's a small town, but he owns the town, and he's a developer down in Gilbert, down in Phoenix. We get to talking with him. He invites us to dinner at his place.
Or eating. Oh, yeah, by the way, I
Yeah.
own this joint.
I own it. And so he changed our whole ride. We ended up going up through Salt River Canyon, and
Which is
that would
amazing.
never have happened. We've been all over Arizona. We've never been there.
Right.
So these things like fate that I say, it's just like, how the hell did that happen? And we didn't get to Mount Lemmon. We just changed everything.
We've been in the middle of nowhere and had guys roll up on us and said, you hear them yelling, Tulane life.
And at the liquor store today, picking out these cold beverages.
A guy came
We
out
met a
and
new
he
dude.
was getting on his bike and he pointed at us. And next thing he goes, I watched your
We're
video.
taking a
you know.
picture with him.
Oh,
That's
wow.
awesome.
But everywhere we go now, it's really, really trippy. And it's such a great thing. When we go on a trip, we pretty much at every stop, now people come up to us and say, we saw your last video. And we're like, how, what's going on here? You know, but to the point, back to, we have a starting point. We know where we're going to go. Like you said, the first night, we know we're going to go home. And in the next 4 or 5, 6, 10 days, we just, whatever.
We had no
seems
idea
cool.
where we're going, Milwaukee to Maine,
Right.
Yeah.
because we've never been there.
Sure.
So we did ask some of the viewers, and they gave us some ideas as well. But it was more about, okay, we've got to do a Harley shoot in the morning. We need to get out of here. How far can we get to? And we know we need to meet some people down in Rhode Island on Wednesday. So how do we get there? So it's generally not overly planned.
Yeah.
You know?
just have a destination to some degree.
And those moments,
Roll.
if you watch our drop that dropped yesterday, we're on the north rim of the Grand Canyon, and the ending of it, we're coming into the golden hour, and the sun and the clouds and the colors. And
Spectacular.
it's just like this stuff happens, and if you didn't go out and go the distance, might not happen.
Mm-hmm.
We came around this is a perfect example. We were at South Lake Tahoe. We're coming out of a snowstorm from Kid Carson Pass. We're coming around the South Lake. The clouds are breaking open. The lake, we're coming around. We see the lake's got this weird aqua green blue, and that's like blowing our mind. We're like, whoa, we got the cameras going. But the clouds break and they're on the mountain, but there's blue sky, and all of a sudden there's a rare flat earth rainbow. So there's a rainbow laying on the lake. And we're all going
flat.
What are we seeing? And we're going, are you seeing? And within seconds it was gone. But we caught it on tape.
We got it on our GoPros. But it's interesting too. I mean, we've said this a lot. You were talking about it with Lance and when he was on motocross and not going for races because of weather. We generally don't let weather stop us.
Mm-hmm.
We left here, we were headed down to Phoenix, and we left here and it was pouring rain. We rode in the rain for about 3 hours or 2 hours. And then the next thing you know, the skies exploded with color and the desert floor and blooming. And it was just, we would have missed all of that.
You got to go because that's when the colors and stuff happen. I mean, we've been in full blizzards on the rim of the Grand Canyon riding going, we got to get out of here. But there's rainbows going into the canyon and stuff that's happening. You're like, it's just, that's why we keep the draw. Keeps us going.
That's every time I'm on the road. My parents are like, oh, it's going to be raining for the next couple of days. Better hunker down.
Say great.
Well, it's going to be raining for the next couple of days.
Yep.
I'm not staying here. Got to keep going. It rained on me for 12 hours coming from Seattle to Sacramento.
I mean, we've had so many times where we rolled into like Arizona, northern Arizona, Williams, and it's raining and we get into town and then we're getting all bikes situated. Snow starts falling.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're walking around the town having a blast,
Yeah,
I was
left and it's 14 degrees.
Yep.
Right.
And
But
we know we have to go.
Right.
You got to go.
I mean,
I'm
sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I was telling these guys earlier when I was kind of editing the video that we dropped yesterday in the North Rim, I try to put music and stuff in the background while we're riding, doing interviews and this and that. But on the very last point, we're sitting there and the rain's kind of faintly sprinkling down. It's a little windy and we're just met with this insane view. And I had no choice but to leave the music out because there's just absolutely nothing in the background but the howl of the wind. And that was, we got some pictures there. It was just an amazing place to be and right place, right time.
So that same trip that we saw the rainbow on, Josh was on his Yamaha and had no gear. Literally, when we got over Kit Carson Pass, it was not supposed to be weather at all.
Mm-hmm.
I left even my rain pants at home because I'm like, it's not going to happen. And
we've learned
snow, rain,
it
hail.
was so cold. My knees were shaking so hard against my tank. I thought I was going to crack up. And then we get off the bikes and Josh's fingers are like this and for like what, 2 months after he had tingling.
Yeah, it was like 2 to 4 months. And the funny thing was, I mean, back then we didn't have matching intercoms, so we couldn't speak. And I'm in the back. And this is my, I'm used to canyon riding, going to Neptunes, like just basic, really small rides. And I'm sitting there hyperventilating. Like I literally can't even breathe. I'm getting dizzy, but I'm sitting here and like, it's, probably not the first time where it's felt like something life and death. I'm like, even if we turn around, we're still stuck in this. There's no getting out.
Right.
And if you stop, it's going to be even worse. I can't tell him. Yeah, he tried to start a fire and it's just wet.
It was so wet.
But we stop, and after, granted, I can't feel my clutch, so I think I'm shifting, probably. I can't hear much. I can't see much because it's all fogged up, and you can't open it because it's hail. And we get to the stop where he tries to start a fire, and we kind of regroup. And after I pry my hands up, literally like that, I'm not even joking, pry my hands off the handlebars, he said, "Hey, put your hands on the heated grips." And my hands had been numb for so long, I couldn't even feel it. So I placed them on there. And within minutes, it's like almost excruciating pain. And like you said, a couple months go by and my fingers were still numb. But me and Lance were actually looking at some of that video footage to send to someone or make a post or something last week. And in one of the videos, it's pouring rain. I didn't even know I was recording or not because I couldn't feel the button to press it. But I'm just screaming like, oh my God, this is so rad. There's something about experiencing that thing that the average person will probably never get to experience, where you're just like it's mind blowing. There's
Well,
a
and
different
Jeffrey,
level.
if you're wondering, he's 1099, so we don't have these other issues.
Yeah.
Well, we've spent 6 hours in 118-degree weather riding through California desert needles on the way to Sturgis, and the next day we're in Colorado in the snow.
Yep.
You know,
But if it's just perfect weather, perfect riding every day, you have no story.
right,
Right.
exactly.
That's what makes the
That's
story.
the Tulane life.
That's I don't know if you guys watch Meat Eater on Netflix at all. Steve Rinella on there, but he quotes a friend of his. There's a high quality fun and low quality fun.
That's
Low
right.
quality fun is a roller coaster. No one
Right.
cares 6 months later if you run
Right.
on a roller coaster.
Yep.
If you're miserable for a week riding or doing whatever, hiking around, hunting, that's the story.
Well, I was a river guide, and on the same note, what you're saying, and I took people down the river all the time, Kern River, great trips, meeting great people. But the people that had a great safe ride, they had a great safe ride. But the person that fell out of the boat, they had the story.
Yep.
They shouldn't have fallen out.
But they had the story.
Hang on, bro.
That's when I was in this trip was my first time ever in Sturgis, and it was beautiful riding in there. It was 70 degrees the whole way. It snowed a couple days before. There was still snow on the ground, but it was gorgeous the day I rode in. Next day I woke up, it was about 35 degrees, freezing rain.
Right.
Tried to ride out to Deadwood, and I had nothing but thrashing summertime gloves on.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have holes in them. I've ridden with them for a few years, and I just about froze. And luckily, some guy was like, I found these gloves on the mountain. I've just been keeping them for a spare set. You can
Right.
have those, and that saved my life.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
I had I couldn't feel my fingers. I was freezing to death out there.
See, people want to help everyone everywhere
Yeah.
in any situation.
Walmart will help you out too.
Yeah, sure did.
We've had to stop there.
Sure did.
Some snowmobile gloves. Or,
Yo. And
Yeah.
another huge solid shout out to Yogurt, aka Shannon, who donated $100 to Brett's
Yogurt.
fundraising
Yo,
page.
Shannon.
Thank you,
Darn it.
sir.
That's why you need to come and see me. I have something for you.
Yo.
It's a secret. You know what it is.
And then we got a
It's
comment.
in the office, that big giant thing.
Oh,
Got a comment from Road to Nowhere. Inspired by Tulane life, my buddies and I just completed a 4-day Arizona tour: Prescott, Goldfield, Tombstone, and Bisbee.
Yeah.
Bisbee, and it was the best trip yet. Thanks for the inspiration, brothers.
Yes.
Thank
well
you
done,
for the
mates.
inspiration.
Well done.
Well done. JJ03 says, can't believe Josh is only 24. He's easily 34. Whoa. Give me a couple.
Jeffrey,
Take
how's
this.
it sounding over there?
Tremendous. I do. It's like the ride. I don't want to end this ride, but I'm going to be getting on an airplane at 5:45 a.m. tomorrow morning. But you guys are the best. And Brett, you and that wonderful hairdresser, you looking better. I just want to see the finished product, but she is
Great.
I'm seeing some ears already.
Yeah.
Peace.
Wow.
So
Well, hey, I didn't expect that you were going to jump on this long, and I got to tell you, it tells us a lot about who you are and the character that you have and the passion that you have for this incredible wow moment cause that you've created that's lasted 40 years. And kudos to you and your wife and your family. And it's that just gives me chills when I think about how many children you've helped.
Total pleasure, total honor from all of us at Tulane Life to meet you. And please, if you're in town,
Cheers.
come and see us. Or if we're over your way, we're going to come and see you.
hey, but you got a place to warm up or cool off, so you got it. But we will be together. I guarantee you.
Total pleasure.
Just touch my heart. You're just spread.
Thank you.
Same. Let's
Thank you.
work
Cheers.
together.
All right. Thanks,
Let's
guys.
let's give Jeffrey a nice see.
Yeah, we got to
See
see
you
you down the road,
road.
Jeffrey. That's what we say. Help us with it. On 3, 1, 2, 3. See you down the road.
Whoa.
See ya.
All right.
Yeah.
Take care. Safe flight and good to talk to you.
Goodbye.
Sweet.
Wow, look at the
Coming
confirmation.
together, huh?
See, and I like a nice.
I love
like,
that. Do you see how balanced? It's like,
Yeah.
we're not gonna do like a Buzz one with Buzz two because see the beard and the eyes and the look and being in the bike. Come on.
Yeah, see, and I like
You're gonna have
how
people following you.
I like a clean haircut or a nice haircut with a big beard. Like it's like
Yeah.
And look, you just gave him a 2-month head start on his next donation.
There we go.
And we did have a comment on that. Said, is he going to grow it out again and do it again?
You never
100%,
know.
Absolutely.
Are
You
you?
know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, awesome.
What else am I doing?
Yeah,
You know?
But you know, he honestly, it's lovely because his haircut brought his eyes.
Yes.
More of his like the chi out.
Ooh.
His hair was beautiful as well,
Right.
but I love transformation.
So wait,
Feel a lot
is
lighter.
this the finished product?
No, we have to like do a little buzz here, buzz there. I was just waiting because I didn't want the cameras and all
It's
that
okay.
to hear that noise. Like,
Oh, I got some product in the
You can
bike,
do
so
it.
we can give you a little.
oh, I like that.
You can do
See,
the
he's
buzz.
helping me.
Yeah,
Well,
you
it's
can
funny when
finish out.
me and Galen were walking out the other day, all I saw was a truck and a bike and a quick glance at you. I just heard you say something, and we're walking back towards the thing. I'm like, is that Jason Momoa? He's like, nah, dude, someone
Well,
else.
That's
I did.
the look.
I'd actually, I think, ran into you guys. I imagine it was you guys because they were wearing all thrash and stuff 2 or 3 years ago when I was coming down here to do Route 66.
Uh,
And at the end of that, I stopped in Harley Davidson up in Milwaukee, and one of the employees came out. She was like, "Oh, I just had to make sure you weren't Jason Momoa
Yeah.
because he was here a couple weeks ago. I thought maybe he came back."
Because you have that same stature.
so we asked Jeffrey what his favorite ride was. What was your favorite place you've ever been on two wheels?
We do the same thing. It's hard to.
Yeah.
Hard to put a finger on it.
I would say on this trip, it was Natchez, Mississippi.
All right.
Really?
It was just kind of the perfect, it was like an 8-hour ride or 9-hour ride from Austin that day. It was kind of the first time I actually really got off the main highways, got to go through, East Texas and Louisiana. It was getting cold when I went in. My hotel key didn't work when I got there. All I wanted was some food and a beer. I was like, you guys figure out the key thing. I'm going into town.
Chicken
And
wings.
Yeah.
it was a dead town right on the Mississippi River, and there was just one bar that had live music, my favorite beer on tap, and a good
Can't beat that.
good sandwich. So that was
Your
my
beer?
favorite. Two Hearted from Bell's Brewery in
Mm.
Kalamazoo.
Wow.
Two-hearted.
Yep.
And that. Try that.
Gosh dang it. We didn't get a picture of before and after with all
I
of
got a
us.
picture. Well, not all of us, but I snapped some pictures of her cutting the hair. So
Okay.
No, I got it.
She got one of before, but not
Okay.
Not at all.
Yeah, it was
we'll snap a picture
Oh,
outside.
yeah.
But it would have been
Um,
great to have it before
Well,
and
can
after.
we glue the hair back on? for a minute, or-
Oh, my mom is watching.
Ah,
And she said,
hey, Mom.
Natchez, Mississippi. Look up the Natchez Trace for a ride.
So I rode that about 250
You did?
miles. It
All
was
right.
gorgeous.
Nice.
It's a federal highway. You can only go about 50 miles an hour, but it is absolutely gorgeous.
Federal highway.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure what exactly that means,
Yeah.
but you get in a lot of trouble if you speed, apparently.
Well, maybe someone that's out there can tell us what that means.
Huh.
Who can tell us? Who can tell us?
A buddy of mine that lives in Tennessee and is from Mississippi turned me on to that. So
Gotcha.
it's definitely worth giving a look. And,
Yeah.
and Natchez is a beautiful town. They had full Christmas set up, had a giant Christmas tree in their town
Damn.
square middle of September. So I don't know what that was all about.
Huh.
It's getting a
I'm
head
sure there's
start.
some history there.
Yeah, right. Getting ready early.
So we got D Ryder says, just enjoy being 24 because one day you're 24 and next you're 70. Well, hey, I want to die young as old as possible.
There you
And then Jen says, please make sure to send before and after pictures to us at Wigs for Kids. And we sure will.
For sure.
We'll get some pictures headed your way. Scott Lynn says, Natchez Trace is relaxing. That's probably a good word considering it can't go more than 50.
Yep.
So
It's very
You know.
gorgeous.
Boy, we'd be in trouble on that highway.
Yeah, I honestly wouldn't recommend going more than maybe 20, 30 miles on it.
Yeah.
It's a little kind of a lot of the same after a
Right.
little bit. 250 miles was more than enough.
Oh, we
Yeah.
just blew every toll road we could in our trip from
on the
Milwaukee.
Not on
manufacturer
purpose.
bikes.
No, it's just like
There was tolls that only took pictures, and you're like,
Yep.
we can't do anything about
And I
that.
got hit by one of the things going down because you got to, when you pay for the toll, it's technically one bike. And we would just, if we paid for them, we'd all three go at once. And it was kind of a weird timing thing. So they booked it. And I'm like, shit, I'm in neutral. Go into first, go down, the thing crashes on me. So there's probably a great picture in some database somewhere. I'm just getting wrecked
well,
by
then
a,
we roll up to one, and the guy gets on the phone. I go to click the thing, and it's like,
how have you been going through?
what are you guys doing? Because it said we had 6 axles, or
Mhm.
It's like because that toll was like $28, and I'm like, what the hell is that?
You let it go down, though.
Yeah,
Is that going through the Ohio Turnpike or whatever?
Yep, something like that.
But it's like, so we called Harley and said, hey, also, we just want you to know that you're probably going to get some messages about toll because they're manufacturer plates.
Yep.
You know, and
right after school, I moved from Michigan to Philadelphia, which you're all on the, getting there, driving is all Ohio Turnpike and Pennsylvania Turnpike. I'm used to toll roads here where it's like, $5 to get over the bridge. It was like $60 by the time I got to the end of the toll road. I don't have that kind of cash on me. I don't know what you want me to do
and you
here.
pull up and they need exact cash.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, we don't have that with change or like 75 cents. It's like.
So my mom just texted me and she said, the person I know that did the entire Natchez Trace Road, the entire thing, it was on a bicycle, is my Uncle Scott.
No
He's
way.
kind of a crazy road bike guy.
Right. I like that.
That's pretty, he ain't going 50. So
I think
that probably took
478 miles.
Jeez.
Something like that.
Shout out
That's
to
pretty
Scotty
good.
Uncle
boy.
Scott's a bad boy.
Yeah.
Sure is.
Woo!
Let's see.
Hi, Josh's mom. Nice to meet you. I haven't met you.
I have.
Galen has.
She's a wonderful, beautiful lady.
Sure
That's
is.
not what Josh said.
I didn't get my looks from her.
So what sports did you play? College?
I played football and lacrosse through college.
Gotcha.
Same here. Well, I played lacrosse.
I played football.
Nice.
6 years, yeah.
Where at?
Well, unfortunately, so in high school, played for high school, and then when I went to college, it was a D2 team,
Okay.
and it was, for lack of a better word, extremely frustrating working with people who had no stick skills and no field skills. So it was also one of those things. You can go to school full time and work full time. You can go to school full time and play sports full time. And for some odd reason, D2 sports don't pay the bills. So
Yeah, they sure don't.
yeah, but it was fun. I mean, that was a amazing game. So
Yeah, lacrosse is a lot of fun. It's at Western. It's just club. So
what play D?
what's that?
What'd you play?
Yeah, defense.
Okay. Well, long pole, midi, and D. A little bit
Nice.
of both.
You didn't turn around and let your mom see your face. Hey, Mom.
How sweet.
How sweet.
During the holiday
Now, the
period.
only thing is that possible for me to like turn you around a little bit?
Yeah.
Would that be okay?
Yeah.
Yes, you do what you want. You're driving the boat.
Sure. Like,
All right.
Look
Let's
at that
see.
view right there, guys.
We got some comments. Let me find out where the last one is. Scott Lynn, I went through some tolls in Chicago on my bike and never got fined.
That's awesome.
Well, Scott, that's
had
because
a
you duct taped
similar
your license
experience.
plate.
When we did Route 66, we had a similar experience, and we called into the toll folks, and we started talking to one of the guys, and he's like, well, we'll forgive those and actually follow you guys. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Pretty
so look at
rad.
that side view right there, guys.
Yo,
You got
that's the mugshot right there.
long hair that was there flowing, and it's gone now.
And
Wow.
D Ryder says, the older you get, the more you enjoy the ride because you know you made it.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Or can still do the ride. JJ03 says, I've never been east of Missouri,
Uh-huh.
but I have no idea about toll roads.
Yeah.
Well, if you,
We learned a lot about them this last year.
yep, Scott Lynn says tolls all over the East Coast. We found that out, didn't we?
All over.
No tolls in Utah and Arizona.
No.
Yep.
You're just flowing in the open. I saw Thelma and Louise the other night. It was on TV, and I let it play. And then I was right getting towards the end where they went over the canyon lands, and I'm like, Laura, look, see that right there? We were just there on that tour
Yep.
in Moab.
Right.
And it was pretty cool to see how it was depicted in the movie where they just,
Shout out to Justin.
Yeah, they had
Yes.
to do it twice.
right, two
They had to
times.
take the engine out
Well,
of the car the second time.
And
every-
they shot it off with a cannon.
Yeah.
Every time I lean
You
back,
tried-
I can't help but notice my neckline needs a little work. So I don't know if you got an open slot
Utah
after
does
this
have
one.
toll.
Do they?
They
But-
do.
It's also incorporated with their HOV,
Gotcha.
so you can buy like a toll pass
Gotcha.
and be a single rider.
But it's not a whole lane cross. Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Kind of
getting
like some of the stuff that's done out here.
I'm getting the real itch to put down like a several thousand-mile trip pretty soon.
Well, when are you going to do that?
We're gonna do it soon.
I'm free tomorrow, I think. Finally I haven't even taken
I
out the
mean-
new bike. So
I can't tell you the feeling when you fill up your tank, you load up your bike, and you twist the throttle, and you just hours and hours of thunder. Just
Mhm.
oh man, I need that.
So I guess for the people watching, I've asked Jeffrey, I've asked Brett. You guys already know our answer. For the people watching, where is your favorite place that you've ever been or ridden through on
Shout
two
it
wheels or three if you got a trike?
Shout it out.
Shout it out.
Hey,
Let's see
we
it.
need to get to the mile program tomorrow.
We do. So we do
And-
have the
and I
mileage
also want
chips.
to do the legend program tomorrow.
Yes, I'm going to check the battery level here.
Yeah.
35%. We got plenty of time.
How long have we been chatting over?
We've been chatting for an hour, and in 10 seconds, it'll be an hour and a half.
Nice.
Let's see. Scott says, anyone know what documents you need to ride into Mexico?
I would take a passport, driver's license,
Yeah, you definitely need a
and you're
passport.
probably okay. That's all. We just came out of Mexico.
Yeah.
And you better take proof of insurance just in case.
Or I would suggest that once you go over the border, there's a little, depending on where you're at, look for one of the local insurance places there, and they speak English, and you can buy a policy for Mexico. Very
And also-
inexpensive.
I know if you're traveling via land through, say, Tijuana into Mexico, you don't need some of the paperwork, say, that you might need in LA to get into a restaurant or to fly to other countries. So if that answers your question.
However,
Okay.
I think coming back,
Nope. I had a friend who went with his girlfriend. His girlfriend had the paperwork, and she had gotten that treatment.
yes,
And she was also the only one who got infected while she was there, and they were unable to fly back, but they allowed them to cross back through Tijuana, walking through the border.
walking,
And that was just a few weeks
but you don't
ago.
want to walk across the border. So when
But
we
walking,
just,
riding,
when
you
we
know,
just flew back, we had to have the
the
But if
thing.
you can't get back and you have to walk back, you're guaranteed in.
I don't know.
Whoa.
Crazy.
So Scotty Flyfish says Sturgis 2021 for the first time, inspired by Tulane Life.
All right.
JJ03 says Padre Canyon, Colorado is probably his favorite.
Nice.
Leo Lopez says all you need is your passport and driver's license. So good
Yep.
stuff. D Ryder, his favorite spot was the Avenue of the Giants.
Yep.
Scott Lynn says, should I take pesos or dollars? Plenty of places to convert that, but maybe a little bit of both if you got some pesos in the bottom drawer. David Freeman, look at Dirty Motorcycle Vagabond's YouTube channel. He has a recent video on what it takes to bring a motorcycle into Mexico.
Aha.
So
you
YouTube
go.
back at it again with the good information.
Awesome.
Scott Lynn, I do not believe you do. And Road to Nowhere says best trip yet. My first Sturgis ride in 2003.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, buddy. And how many times have you been to Sturgis?
This was my first time.
Awesome.
My first time in South Dakota. I was pleasantly surprised.
Great place.
The
Great place.
Badlands was absolutely gorgeous. Pretty bummed that the weather was a little rough in the Black Hills, but all in all, it was pretty great. Interesting to be in those giant bars with no people there.
We're going to go twice to Sturgis this year, and I'm not going to tell you why, but one for the event.
Which Sturgis?
South
Sturgis,
Dakota.
South Dakota.
Yeah. If you go, speaking of that, if you look at the hidden gems in Sturgis, whatever
The Sturgis
title
you've
is,
never
there you
seen.
go.
The Sturgis you've never seen.
We've got quite a few looks at that.
Yes, we do.
Not bad. So are we done here? Close?
Yes, very close.
All right.
As soon as we,
Oh, we're gonna do a little.
yeah, just a little bit of-
I was gonna say it's pretty quiet. I was gonna say you guys can kind of fake talk for just a couple minutes while she's blow drying, but we're still going on. Any other questions from the viewers out there? Let's see. Also, for those that tuned in a little bit later, if you check out the description of the video, there's links to Brett's personal donation link, which goes directly to the Wigs for Kids Foundation. We had Jeffrey on, who is the founder of Wigs for Kids with his wife, and they supply wigs to kids who have had medical difficulties and are in need of wigs. It's a great cause.
So remember, every Highwayman shirt, green or black, that we sell, they get what?
$5 donation
$5
given
donation.
to Brett.
Yes.
So help the cause. I'm so impressed with the people that have actually donated today.
Oh, yeah.
Like
On live.
on the live. I mean, what an amazing group of followers and subscribers we have.
I have to thank you guys again for allowing me this opportunity to come on here and get people involved. And
For sure.
It's been great. It's been great all the way around. That's why we do this stuff. It's fun,
So,
Meet new people.
yep. Meet new people, hear new stories. That's what
Right.
life is all about.
Share it.
So we got a Delta Papa Tango. He says, do the Clockworks fenders work on 21 models?
Yes,
I have a special, and I will be getting a 21 model for that. You just have to watch out. If you're a CVO, it's going to be a little more difficult to get a paint match. And then if you have a 21-inch wheel, say, just make sure to specify that when you get them. And if you
hit us up, because we have them on the site. If you want them painted like we've got ours through the fairing exchange, just put in Tulane Life in the notes section. You'll get free shipping, and I think they're going to give you a little bit of a better price. So,
and for that link, you can go to our
Very
Sturgis
cheap, right?
episode where we went to Clockworks.
Ask him if he's okay, I'm okay.
And we got
All right.
another
Great.
donation from Brett's fundraising page from Tom. So shout out to Tom.
wow, Tom,
Hey, Tom,
Thank you, sir.
so much.
We appreciate that.
We got Allison Gonzalez. Aloha from Hawaii. Great job, Brett.
Aloha and mahalo.
And then we got Leo Lopez here. He says, wanted to say thanks to Tulane Life for their donation to the Semper Fi Fund poker run in September. We've raised over 58 grand for the Semper Fi Fund. Thank you, gents. Thank
That's
you,
awesome,
Leo.
Leo.
And thank you
Way
for your
to go,
service.
man. That's great.
Cool stuff.
Yes.
And then we did actually have another question. What are some upcoming rides for Tulane?
Oh gosh, we're gonna do a little piece on some pieces of Route 66 here pretty soon. What else we got?
Well, this happens every year. We get towards the end of the year, and we've got enough footage to get us through the end of the year. So we generally start planning what 2022 is going to look like. And I think in December we'll probably get an Arizona ride because we want to try Mount Lemmon, and
Right.
we want to get down to Rockford Fosgate and give you a studio tour down there. And also, if we can hook up with Jeff at V Twin Visionary,
Yes.
would be cool to do that. And then the beginning of the year, it's going to be, I think, the pieces of Route 66 that could be really kind of cool, more documentary style.
I mean, we have 20 things we put on our board over there?
Yeah, we've got a number of cool rides.
Yeah. Coming soon. We can't give you any details because we're still working on our details. But like I said, I think we're going to Sturgis twice, and one will be really interesting.
I think we're also going to go out to Kentucky
Yes.
and maybe visit with Letitia Klein, who's done a great job out in her city, Cave City. She's a city council person. She's refurbished the town. She's an author. She's an actress. I mean,
An awesome rider.
Awesome
She's a
rider.
powerhouse woman.
you know, she's intense. And so
Yeah.
that could be really cool. I think we'll get out to the Adirondacks on that same trip, get up into Tennessee, enjoy that kind of piece of the country because we've never been over in that area. What else do we have over there?
Yeah, Chattahoochee Skyway, I believe, is what it's called.
Mhm.
Chattahoochee
Gorgeous.
Skyway.
Who's this guy sitting here?
What?
I don't recognize this dude without any hair.
Right, no.
And we have to give a huge shout out to this beautiful woman right here.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so
It
much.
was
I mean-
such a pleasure to be around this beautiful, amazing circle.
She has a lot of energy. She loves life. She just fits right in. And look what she just did.
Yeah.
If you're in the Studio City area, right?
Yep. Uh-huh.
I don't know if she might be too busy. Right?
Yeah.
Also, check out the
Never too
description of the video for a link to her salon.
Well, what a cool drop today. Little different than we'd normally do.
Right.
But we're so stoked on you and you taking time. What was your career that you left? Your
I
job?
was in the motorcycle
You
industry.
were in the motorcycle
yeah,
industry.
it was.
And you're like, I'm done for now. I'm going to go do my ride.
Yep, got to do the ride. And luckily, I also work at a brewery that was, pretty cool about me taking off for 6 weeks. So,
Which brewery?
Northern Pine Brewing in Oceanside and Del Mar.
Really? I
Yep.
think we've been there.
It's a good spot.
It's a good spot.
Good beers.
But Brett, so cool for you. It sounds like you had this passion around one of your friends that you were associated with, and he just rode 8,000 miles. If you haven't, tuned into some of this, and came back and lo and behold, cut all his locks off. And
Hold that. You got that bundle up?
yeah, where's that bundle?
They're all in here.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
how many did we get? Were there like 8 of them?
Oh no, more than that.
More than that?
Oh yeah. More than that.
Make a couple wigs out of that.
Oh yeah, definitely. And
So
it's nice
it's all
because it's the health of the hair too. So the hair is really healthy. It's a happy hair, you know.
Nivea for men.
but I also
Look at
I also
Yeah,
think what's
see?
really oh yeah, look at that.
Yep.
So you know.
Oh yeah.
I think what's really cool, Jeffrey had mentioned that he's going to put you in contact or connection with the
Yeah.
person. That's
unbelievable
I mean-
to actually see the whole thing come to fruition is pretty exciting.
yeah, the end result of that's got to be wonderful. You know, you feel like you just did something great.
Yeah.
Because I was reading some things, and it's like when children lose their hair, they lose their identity, their self-esteem.
Hmm.
You know, they look different, and so to give them that confidence back, and I mean, again, that gives me kind of tingles just talking about it. That's got to be something definitely great for you, and you didn't have to do it.
Yeah. I mean, it was a great opportunity for, me to get out on the road and do something positive. And that's, always a great feeling to get out and do something like that. So I
So
feel
we
pretty
just
honored to
met
do
through
it.
the community. We just met a guy that is giving his hair for kids and their purpose to become more engaged and self-esteem,
That's
increased. How is that?
It's amazing.
It's
I mean, I
amazing.
was going to say, do you have anything you want to say when we're closing? But I think you just said it.
Yeah,
You
for
know.
sure.
Do you have anything you want to say?
Just being part of this
Come in a
whole
little bit.
wonderful, community. Again, it goes back to love, children, and something very profound. And the foundation of my heart is that we're here for bigger, and that's where I'm at. And I'm just extremely happy to be in a circle of great, amazing, wonderful man in general that touches me more.
But the beautiful thing is your father
I was
rode
gonna
for
say that.
Yeah, for 40-something 5 years in a mountain, and he was a doctor, and basically he would really go travel for the cause of children and women that didn't want to come into the society. They were mountain people.
so, but
So
he
we got
rode
a
motorcycles.
daughter of a biker that
Yeah.
was a medical guy running up, taking his time in the mountains of
This was in
Afghanistan, right?
Yep. Yep.
How incredible. What great stories.
I know. I'm just like, wow.
We're so blessed.
So are we?
Yeah, we should probably, it's been a great run here. It was great to have Jeffrey on. Jen, thanks for your help today as well. Josh, thank you for getting this stream up. This is the first time we've kind of used it. And I think we'd
we'll
love to hear
continue to do
comments
so.
back from you guys on how well it went or not. But yeah, what's up?
Hey,
And real quick, you're speaking of Baggers and Brews. Baggers and Brews is in the house.
There
Said
we
hit
go.
that like for the Tulane crew. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate the
Yeah,
support.
thank you very much.
And what do we-
subscribe to our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please tell your friends because we have a lot of things to share with you. Guys.
We're almost at 20,000 subscribers.
Almost.
Just a couple hundred away.
Yes.
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 So tell your friends, ring that bell, give us a thumbs up, make a comment. We love responding to your comments. Thank you for spending the day with us. And
Don't forget to shake hands with America.
So we're gonna end this by saying, "See you down the road." So
All right.
3, 2,
All
1,
of
and
us.
you help us.
Yes, absolutely.
3, 2, 1. See you
Down the road.
And